Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. I'm going to give you the latest status of the negotiations pertaining to the $908 billion bipartisan Senate plan, which by the way is now being referred to as a Gang of Eight plan internally. Yep, it's being referred to as a Gang of Eight plan internally. Before I get into it, my name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Welcome to my channel. This channel is called Ignition Time. It's about the country, it's about the economy, and finally it's about your money. I think when we understand what's going on in the country, we can understand how it impacts the economy and most importantly, how it impacts your wallet, how it impacts your money. On your screen, you'll see an article that was published on Bloomberg and the headline of the article reads, McConnell says relief talks should drop liability in state aid. Now, keep in mind that the number one factor that's been holding back a stimulus package has been liability protection for small businesses, for schools, for colleges, for universities, for hospitals, and for medical facilities. And the position of the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has been to try and prevent frivolous lawsuits, because the concern for the Republicans is that frivolous lawsuits can actually prevent businesses from reopening. Now, while we can all agree that frivolous lawsuits are bad for the system, what happens if we have a situation where there is a legitimate lawsuit that can now no longer be brought forward? And that is the concern that the Democrats have had. These are the things that have been holding back. That's the number one factor. The number two factor has been aid for state and local governments, making sure that our first responders, our policemen, our firefighters, all of them get paid, because at the end of the day, the money comes from the state. These are the two issues that have essentially been holding things back. And so the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell basically said that let's set aside the two issues that are the biggest roadblocks and let's essentially focus on what we can all agree on and get that passed. And that was the basis of the Senate Majority Leader's position. Now, I want to be clear that the Democrats have actually opposed the Senate Majority Leader's position, the liability aid position, and said that the Senate Majority Leader wants to give employers a shield from lawsuits. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has been among many Republicans blasting Democrats' demands for aid for state and local governments. President Trump has gone so far as to call it, I quote, a bailout for poorly run democratic states. So that's what's going on. Now, another thing that's really interesting is that the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said as recently as today that these two issues, the liability shield issue as well as the aid for state and local governments, should be set aside completely. By the way, this is a big shift in the position of the Senate Majority Leader. He had said in the past that liability protection was a red line. It was non-negotiable. Now he's saying, hey, let's just set it aside and let's pass something. And so this is a big shift in the position of the Senate Majority Leader. And he said, let's focus on the three areas where both parties agree help is needed. The first area is aid for small businesses, a second round of the Paycheck Protection Program. The second area is expanded unemployment benefits so that those who are unemployed can get more assistance. And the third is funding for vaccine distribution and other COVID-related efforts. Here's a direct quote from the Senate Majority Leader as recently as today, and he said, we can't leave without a COVID bill. The Senate Majority Leader said this today, we can't leave without a COVID bill. The country needs it. Now, keep in mind, I've said this before on my channel, that I don't think we are likely to see any stimulus unless the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell decides that it needs to be done, and it needs to be done a certain way, and it needs to be brought to the floor of the House for a vote. Unless this happens, we are not going to see a stimulus bill. The Democrats can want what they want. The president can want what he wants. By the way, I did report earlier today, and you'll see this article on your screen from the Washington Post. The administration, the White House, is pushing Senate Republicans to include $600 stimulus checks instead of the $1,200 stimulus checks that Josh Hawley from Missouri was pushing for, instead of the $1,200 stimulus checks that Bernie Sanders, the independent from Vermont, is pushing for, instead of the $1,200 check that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was pushing for. So this is again there are two big shifts. One, from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to say, hey, let's get something done now. And two, the president saying, hey, let's do $600 stimulus checks. And number three, obviously, as you know, the Democrats came down from the $2.2 trillion or $2.4 trillion where they were down all the way to $900 billion. Three big shifts. Such massive shifts. I mean, keep in mind the Democrats initially wanted well upwards of $2 trillion. Now they are ready to accept half that amount because they call this a temporary relief bill. By the way, Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader, did respond and did react to to what the Senate Majority Leader is doing. He called the Senate Majority Leader's recent comments an attempt to sabotage what the Gang of Eight was doing. By the way, the Gang of Eight is an abbreviation that they're using in DC to describe the $908 billion Senate bipartisan relief bill. Now, I want to be clear. I know that all of this can sound a little bit confusing, but the President of the United States originally wanted, on the 9th of October, wanted a plan that was even higher, a stimulus package that was even higher than the Democrats. Now the President has tweeted about the stimulus package. I believe once or twice, a majority of the President's tweets have been about the election interference. In fact, on your screen, you'll see the tweets from the president over the past 24 to 48 hours. So you'll get a clear idea of what the president is focused with. And the president is focused on challenging the validity of the election. The president had a forum today where he was talking about the pandemic and about Operation Warp Speed. And the president did reiterate that the challenges to the election are ongoing. And it is projected that the challenges, and you can see on your screen all the things that the president is focused with. The challenge to the election is projected to go all the way through to January. So that is what's going on as far as the president is concerned. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, there she is. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi originally wanted $3.4 trillion in May with the HEROES Act, then came down to $2.2 trillion with the updated version of the HEROES Act before the election. Now she's ready to work with $908 billion, which is less than half of what they were talking about. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell at one point proposed $300 a week in unemployment benefits a few months ago. Today, he wants to propose zero in federal boosters, but he does want to extend programs for a few weeks. The Senate Majority Leader initially said liability protection was non-negotiable. It was a red line. Now he's willing to set that aside so something can be passed. All the chess pieces are moving in this equation. And who's stuck in between? The average American. Who's stuck in between? Individuals in travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality who are impacted. Next week, we are likely to see a $1.4 trillion government spending bill and maybe a $900 billion stimulus bill. What's going to happen? Lawmakers and the government is going to get the funding it needs to go on, and the average individual is not even going to be able to get in line. And by the way, the taxpayer is the one who funds the entire government. So this entire situation is just unbelievable. I'm here fighting the good fight for you. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, why you should listen to me. For me, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I am American. I am American. We are all Americans first. So the Senate Majority Leader, essentially, everyone's changing their positions. Speaking of changing positions, one of the biggest changes in the positions came from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said today she remains optimistic about getting a deal, but she emphasized that she considers this a bridge to another larger package under the Biden administration. This is a quote from House Speaker Pelosi. Make no mistake, this is an emergency supplemental. It is not a stimulus. It is too small. That is what House Speaker Pelosi is saying. And where things stand right now is we're starting to get some responses from the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. On your screen, you'll see a tweet from Burgess Everett, who's a political congressional reporter. And he wrote in his tweet that Chuck Schumer, the House Minority Leader, said that McConnell's offer to drop state and local aid and liability reform is going to cost public workers jobs. He said he's sabotaging. He said Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is trying to pull the rug out from underneath the Gang of Eight. Just incredible. He also said in another tweet, the best hope forward is the Gang of Eight. And earlier they had referred to themselves as, the 908 coalition. So that's where things stand, everybody. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. You'll find a link to all of our resources in the description section below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time. I really appreciate you watching. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. What is the Ignition Time channel? The Ignition Time channel is a channel that's designed to educate our viewers about the honest news, about the truth regarding our country, regarding the economy, and regarding your money, because it's only when we understand how the country works that we get our heads around the economy. And once you understand how the economy works, you can understand that the system is rigged. Yes, I believe the system is rigged, and you can make the system work for you. To be honest, that's exactly what I did in order to be able to live the American dream. I think we need to understand the way the world works so we can essentially take advantage of the system that already exists around us. Again, my name is Dr. Nitin Choda. We release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. Get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list going forward. If you want, you can also get added to our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. You'll get added to our email list. You'll get breaking news and alerts from us. And if we ever release a program, you'll be the first and the only person to get notified. I really appreciate you watching. Keep in mind, sometimes YouTube does not release notifications on time. So all you have to do is pretty simple. Just bookmark youtube.com/ignition time. That's youtube.com/ignition time. And then you can check out the homepage of our channel. You can watch our videos at any point in time that you want. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. And you'll get exclusive content on Instagram. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Just follow us on Twitter, and then you'll be able to get breaking news and alerts from us on Twitter. If you learned something new from this video, please consider sharing it with friends and family. Join our community, comment below, participate in our community. Our community is growing, it's intelligent, it's bipartisan, it's respectful. Engage with us. You might make some new friends in our community. Become a part of our growing community. Also, you'll find a link to all of our resources in the description section below in case you want to dig deeper and closely analyze some of our resources. So make sure you always check out our description section. And finally, the most important thing, if you learn something new from this video, please ignite the subscribe button, ignite that notification button, because the name of our channel is Ignition Time. Thank you so much. Don't forget to click like. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. It tells YouTube that you found this content valuable. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.